Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having an amazing day. Thank you for joining me live here on social media. I'm looking over and laughing because if you were here yesterday, you definitely got some shots of the cats. I have one laying beside me. You can see, whoop, I should not have messed with the cat. Oh, good, he's jumping down. That's a good thing. All right, welcome to today's Daily Dose of Coaching. I am Brenda Reynolds, and this is the F Words of Life. And like I said, I'm super excited and happy to have you here joining me, whether live or on the replay. Please, if you're watching on the replay, interact as if you were here live with us. So use the comments, answer my questions, add your feedback, add hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay. If you're watching live, feel free to jump in with comments. This week, we've been all focused on mindset and beliefs, which is a great, amazing topic, one that we could spend years on, and we will spend years on together forever in the F Words of Life. And we're building on top of vision and goals from last week, this week focusing on mindset and beliefs, and next week focusing on actions and habits, specifically as part of the F Words Reset, to really kick off your Q2 in the best possible way so that you gain momentum going into the rest of the year, and you hit your goals for 2019 that you want to hit. And so that's really what this entire sequence of the F Words Reset has been about. It's spring. It's kind of time for you each day to take a pause and just pour into yourself for a few minutes each day so that you can be the best version of yourself for your significant other, for your kids, for your job, for everything that you do in your community. And so yesterday we talked about a really important topic. So we're going to jump right in today. We are streaming live on Instagram, live on Facebook. If you want to catch the replays, you can catch all of them over on the Facebook page, facebook.com/the F Words of Life. And I say that to Instagram specifically because you guys know live videos only stay up for 24 hours. So you can go over and watch the replays anytime on Facebook. If you do have your guidebook, you can take notes. Definitely have a pen and paper today. Today's something you want to take some notes on. Today's going to be a real bite-sized piece of training and coaching. We're going to keep this really succinct because yesterday I went a little bit longer and I talked about the two types of thinking that we have in our brain. We have autopilot thinking and we have intentional thinking. Autopilot is the programming that we have in our brain that it's a thought loop that you may not even be aware of. And today what we're going to talk about more is using and engaging the intentional thinking. Because what I asked you to do yesterday, your action step from yesterday, was start being an observer of your own thought process. Start noticing what those subconscious autopilot thoughts are, because we can't shift something if we're not aware of it. So awareness is the key. So if you missed yesterday, that's okay. Stick with today's training and go back and watch yesterday's training on Facebook. Because like I said, I spent about half an hour talking about this autopilot thinking system that we have. And we have so many negative thoughts that we think every day, over and over and over again. And I want you to really be an observer for about a 24-hour period and notice what are those thoughts for you. And even if you didn't watch that one yesterday, you can still do the exercise today, because most of the time what I find and what I have found in 15 plus years of coaching and thousands of hours of studying and really just looking into this, as well as my own experience, most of the time that belief, that thought, somehow boils down to I'm not enough. I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not lovable enough. And so even if you don't know your specific word, or phrase today, you're going to identify that, because the more you can identify what your specific verbiage is, then you can do what we're going to do today, which is flipping it. We're going to become deliberate thinkers. Becoming an intentional thinker and being able to shift your thoughts is something you can choose to do. You're in control of it. Does it take effort? Yes. Does it take work? Yes. Does it take consistency? 100%. But it's worth it, because if you stick in the same thoughts and beliefs that you've had up till now, you're going to get the same results or worse. You're certainly not going to improve your life. And so by changing our thinking, we really are leveling up what we're doing in each area. So if we look at all 7 F words, you may have different thoughts and beliefs and negative thinking in different areas. So if it's around fitness, you may have certain body talk that's really not very nice, and certainly not something you would say to somebody who was your best friend, who should be yourself. Or maybe it's in finances. And so we can find really specific, and I'm going to give you some examples today. So I want you to find your specific negative thinking, your limiting beliefs that you have. If I say money is is your immediate thought and belief the root of all evil? Is that what you were taught when you were growing up, that somehow money corrupts people? Well, we've got to shift that and become intentional. Otherwise, you're always going to undermine yourself when it comes to money, and your bank account will never grow past a certain point. So the first key is awareness. What is your limiting beliefs? What are your limiting beliefs? Because there's not just one. But today, I want you to try to really identify one. And if it's the I'm not good enough, if that resonates with you, you can stick with that one today. So we're going to shift from autopilot thinking to intentional thinking. So when you find yourself in a negative thought loop, or you find yourself talking to yourself going, I'll never be able to do that, right? I'm behind. I'm never going to get there. Again, notice what you're saying to yourself. I immediately want you to stop. And yes, I made that really loud noise and my cats just went running. Maybe that's the way I have to get them out of the room from now on, so they're not climbing on the desk. Although you guys do seem to like when they make an appearance and walk across the desk in front of the camera. Okay, so we're going to stop. We need to interrupt that pattern. So as soon as you find yourself in that negative thought loop of I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm too fat, I am too old, I'm too young, whatever it is, I want you to stop. I want you just to go, stop, okay? Let me shift my thinking. And it's almost like you're giving yourself a pep talk, but that's not what this is. There's truly a science behind this. This has been proven over and over that we can rewire the neural nets of our brain. I'm going to talk a little bit more and think about the science tomorrow, but today what I really wanted you to focus on is just what are those core negative limiting beliefs that you have, and how are we going to shift those? And so I want to give you some examples. I've given you examples yesterday of the negative thoughts that can happen. I just kind of gave you a list today. If you just think back throughout your day, I'm sure you can identify some negative thoughts. God, why am I such a horrible mom? Right? Why did I do that stupid thing? I actually had a moment today, and I'm being completely transparent, that I found my internal dialogue, what I was saying to myself was, what is wrong with you? And I caught myself and I'm like, holy cow, would I ever say that to any of you, my friends, in that way, just this disgusted, like horrible way? No, I wouldn't. So why am I saying that to myself? So I immediately stop. Okay, interrupt the pattern. So I wrote some things down because I wanted to give you some specific examples. So I'm looking down at my notepad here. So if, for example, if you're saying to yourself and you find yourself saying, I'm always behind, I can't ever catch up, I'll never get there. Here's the shift. So we do the stop. I'm not going to clap that loud again. We do the stop, and then we say, I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm exactly where I need to be. And that's the focus. And you can just close your eyes for half a second. Don't close them if you're driving, but I'm exactly where I need to be. If I were supposed to be further along, I would be. There's obviously a lesson I need to learn. Okay, what's the lesson I need to learn? I'm exactly where I need to be to take my next step. Beating yourself up and berating you will never get you to move forward. So this is the core of self-love, self-care, self-talk, all of these things. Now, why are we doing this? We're not doing this to be selfish. We're doing this so that we can serve our family, our friends, our community, the world at a better and deeper level, so that you can live a more fulfilled and satisfying life. That's why we're here. We're here to learn the lessons. There are hard lessons along the way, but living in that old programming is that's not where you're supposed to stay. Every person on the planet has negative thinking. I called it yesterday stinkin thinkin, right? We've got this stinkin thinking that's been programmed in our brain for whatever reasons. And I went through that a lot in depth yesterday, so I'm not going to rehash that. But we all have these thoughts. The key is developing the skill to become an intentional thinker, shifting that thought. okay? Because what you focus on gets bigger. If you focus on always being behind, guess what you're going to get more of? Being behind. If you focus on, you know what, I'm exactly where I need to be and I'm grateful for where I am, then that starts shifting your energy. And tomorrow, I think I really am going to talk about the science tomorrow of the reticular activator and why this actually changes the neural net of your brain and why then the outside realities start changing as a result. When we change our inside wiring, and I've noticed I've been talking a lot with my hands lately, which hopefully you guys don't mind. I could put on a puppet show. But when you change that wiring on the inside, the outside picture will start to match. So more on that tomorrow. If that's something you're curious about, I get really nerded out over it. I get really excited. So come be a nerd with me and watch that tomorrow. So let's say your statement is, I'm not smart enough, right? I don't have a college education. I dropped out of high school, whatever it is. Maybe you have a PhD and you still feel like I'm not smart enough, right? That's your limiting belief. So the statement you're going to say instead is, if I put in the work, I can master anything, right? If I put in the work, I can master it. I know I'm capable. Let's throw this negative thinking out the window because I know if I put in the work, I can do it. I can master anything. So I'm too old. I love this one. I'm too old. I can't do it. I'm too old. I don't have enough time left. Or I'm too old. They'll never give me that promotion. How about this? I have years of valuable experience that makes me an asset. Because when you have age and experience behind you, that's a huge thing, right? Well, the opposite is I'm too young. I don't have enough experience. Well, you know what? I'm young and I'm eager and I'm ready and willing to learn and I have tons of energy, so I'm going to give it 1,000%, right? Turn it into a positive. Use any of these statements that you want. Create and customize your own. This isn't something that I want you just to go, okay, that's the statement I'm going to say and think that you're going to remember it. Because whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, you've got that many years of the programming in your brain. So you're going to have to give yourself visual cues. How do I do this? I've told you guys, I write on my bathroom mirror with dry erase markers. So I'll write my statements. I put them on Post-it notes and put them in my car. Put it on your refrigerator. Put it in next to your bedside table, wherever. Get it tattooed. Not really. I mean, you could, but put this somewhere in front of you so that you have a visual cue, so that you're intentionally doing it, even if you don't catch yourself in the negative loop. But when you do catch yourself in the negative loop, the key is just to stop and say basically the opposite in positive form. Okay. So let's see. No one loves me. No one loves me. No one will ever love me. You know what? Here's the flip. The right people love you. The right people love me. And you're going to say it about yourself. Okay. Maybe you're saying to yourself, gosh, you'll never be able to do that. This one I like. And on Facebook, I put this in the little description. You're not good enough or you're never going to be able to do that. In your mind, I want you to go, oh yeah, watch me. Get a little bit of attitude with it. Right? Have fun with this. Some of these are so heart-wrenching. The thoughts that we say about ourselves and to ourselves, have a little bit of humor with it. Have a little bit of fun. I've talked before, I like making things into a game and making them fun. Play your way to success, right? Oh yeah, watch me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to prove that crappy thinking that somebody else put in my head that I chose to believe. No. Watch me. I will show you. Okay? Now, let's see another one. Okay, mine, I shared with you guys yesterday, I'm not good enough the way that I am, right? I'm not good enough, therefore they're going to leave me, they're not going to love me, but it's at the core, I'm not good enough the way that I am. So the flip to that is I'm more than enough already, just the way that I am. And you notice that I smiled when I said that? That was not intentional. That was not like, I didn't mean to, I noticed myself, I look at the camera, but I can see myself kind of down on the screen, and I saw myself kind of smiling, and I felt it as I said it, right? I'm more than enough already, just as I am. It actually makes me feel better. And tomorrow, again, we're going to talk about the science and the vibration that happens when you change the neural net of what happens with your biological filter that is there as a safety mechanism, but it actually prevents you from getting the good stuff if all you're doing is focusing on the bad stuff. Because remember, what you focus on expands. What you focus on, you get more of. That's why we must choose to put energy and effort into shifting our thinking. I'll never succeed, or I can't do that. I can't do that. That's stupid. Do you ever do that? I mean, I know you guys can resonate with this. Give me like a hell yeah or something in the comments. I mean, does this resonate? Like, are you getting it? Does this make sense? Are you like, yes, I am my own worst critic. I don't even have one voice in there, Brenda. I got a whole committee that sits there and tells me how messed up I am and that I'll never succeed. I'm never going to be able to do this, right? So quickly, no, actually I can. It can be as simple as that. Just flip it, right? Last Friday I talked about flipping the script. This is the big version of that. I did a baby version of that last week, just switching one word. Now we're switching the whole belief. We're switching the thought. Actually, I can do that. If I put in the time, if I chose to, if I put in the effort and the work, if I learn a new skill, I can do that. Because you can, and I believe in your ability to figure it out and do it. If it's on your heart and you desire it and it's in your visions, it's in your goals. And this is why visualization of these things is so powerful. I'm going to tie this all back together because we started with creating your vision last Monday. And tomorrow when we talk about the science, I'm going to talk about why visualization specifically is the key to all of this. So, well, one of the keys, because I keep saying that and there's a bunch of keys, right? So today, now I get, uncovering these things. I said this yesterday. They can be heavy. It can be frustrating. It can be sad, when you realize how negatively you can speak to yourself and how, again, it's on autopilot. And it got there in a lot of different ways, put into your subconscious. And you might feel like, well, now I'm broken or I'm overwhelmed by all of this. I have all these negative thinkings. Listen, just take a deep breath. It's going to take time. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. Like I said, I'm far from perfect. I was having the moment this morning. What's wrong with you? Wait, nothing's wrong with me. I'm great just the way that I am already. I just need to show up. That's all I need to do. I just need to show up, right? And so think about if you're feeling that overwhelmed, you're feeling scared, you're feeling, like you're just broken. Look how much you've overcome already just to be here on the planet, much less be on this training. You are heads and shoulders above other people. And it's not about comparison to other people. It's about being the best version of yourself. And we have major comparison crap going on, more so than we ever have in the history of humanity because of this beautiful thing called social media. And so our negative thinking loop gets reinforced when we are on autopilot and we think that we're not smart enough, not pretty enough, not successful enough. I don't have enough resources or finances. My house is too dirty. I'm unorganized. I can't ever finish anything. Any of these resonating? Ladies, men, I know, and I speak mostly to the ladies because that's typically my tribe. But I mean, is this resonating? Do you hear this in your own head, right? So then we go on social media and we go, look how their life is so perfect. They took the perfect picture of the food that they're eating and they're perfectly made children that have no dirt or no food on them and their clothes are clean and it's a fallacy. And first of all, even if it's not, who cares? If they're living the perfect life, great, more power to them. But social media isn't real most of the time, right? You're comparing yourself to something that you think is real. Now, this is real. I'm giving you the real. So show up here so that you can shift. Like I said, because you're taking the time out every day to come do your daily dose of coaching for 20 or 30 minutes with me live or on the replay. Like I said, watch the replay if you can't catch it live. It shows me you are ready to make the shifts to level up your life in all 7 areas. So start with what you can identify is that core limiting belief. Recognize it as soon as it comes up. Stop the pattern. Stop. I mean, just literally stop in your tracks and go, okay, what am I going to shift? You can't do that? Yeah, actually I can. Okay? Actually I can. Yes, I can. I can do this. Or, you know what? That's stupid. Oh yeah? Watch what I do next. Watch me. It can be as simple as this, okay? Or like I said, I'm not good enough. I'm doing the best I can. If your house isn't perfect, you got a 2-year-old toddler running around, your house isn't going to be perfect. Are you doing the best that you can? I am going to ask that you do your best. If you're doing your best in the moment, That's all you got to say. I'm doing the best that I can do right now. That gives you grace. That gives you humanity. That gives you self-love. It doesn't mean that tomorrow we're not going to do better and strive to be more. It doesn't mean that we're not going to set aggressive goals. But it means right now, instead of berating yourself that the laundry's not, done and put away and the perfect, dinner's not on the table, and blah, get away from that. Shift to, I'm doing my best right now, right? And then remember, my favorite one, I am more than enough already, just as I am. So here's the thing I'm going to do. For those of you that are watching this live and or on the replay, either one, hopefully you've been taking notes. You've identified your core limiting belief or beliefs. Like I said, in all 7 areas of the F words of life, you can go through all 7 areas and you can start looking at what's your body image like, what's your relationship with money, where are your limiting beliefs around your career. Are you always saying, I'm never going to get that promotion, never going to get that promotion? You know what? You're right. Hate to tell you that, but if that's your thinking, you're right. And so we have to shift this. So what I'm going to do, you guys know I send out now Friday, I send out my newsletter, love letter, email, traditionally it's an email list. I want it to be more than that. I want it to be content that's valuable to you. I usually share something personal in there. But this Friday, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a whole lot of these examples. Probably anywhere from 15 to 25. I haven't written all of them yet. That's what I'm going to do right after I finish this live cast. And I'm going to write down how you can shift from sentence X to sentence Y, thought X to thought Y, right? Thought A to thought B. We're going to shift this, and I want to give you some tangible examples that you can print out, you can use, you can have on your phone, you can borrow them, steal them, share them. I don't care. They're for you. So that's going to be the newsletter this week. So if you're watching this, today's Wednesday, that when we're broadcasting this live, if you're watching this and you're not on my newsletter list, you need to sign up, okay? Just go to thefwordsoflife.com and put in your email address. It's the little boxes right there. You'll actually get a free assessment. If you've never done the F Words of Life assessment, you'll get that so you can see where you're at in all 7 areas of your life. If you've done the assessment, but you haven't joined the F Words Reset and you want the 14-page guidebook, just when you go to the fwordsoflife.com, click in the upper right-hand corner, it says F Words Reset, and you still put in your email address, and you'll get the guide. So I've had people ask about that. How do I get the guide? That's how you get the guide. But to be on the email list, you can put your email address in either one of those, and you'll receive my Friday email. And this Friday, it's going to basically be ways, specific sentences of, this is the stinkin thinking, as I mentioned yesterday and called it, right? The crappy thinking about ourselves and this limiting beliefs, and giving you some positive, affirmative, deliberate thoughts that you can replace those things with, okay? So your action step for today is to recognize, right? Become aware, because awareness is the key. What are those core limiting beliefs that you have? Stopping the loop, right? The negative loop, that thought that you have, as soon as you have it and realize that that's where your brain's going, stop. Okay, I do this physical stuff because it helps me. I literally, if I clap my hands together, I'm like, okay, I have to stop, right? It wakes me up. It shifts my energy. Now, if you're in the middle of a quiet church, maybe not do that, or in the library. But you get my point, right? Stop, and then we're going to intentionally reaffirm the deliberate, intentional, positive thought that is the truth of who you are, and not the false limiting beliefs. That's old crappy programming that you don't want anymore. I don't want for you. And so I hope today's training has been valuable for you. I love that you were here live and or on the replay. If you are brave enough, put into the comment what your current limiting belief is. The more you guys share, it helps other people. It helps me see what else you guys want training and coaching on. I know the comment box can be a scary thing, but I believe in you. So share, what's that, the core limiting belief? I see my friend Jamie on, who had a birthday earlier this week. So happy birthday again, Jamie. And, her whole mission in life is to help people understand their worthiness. And so I know, for a lot of people that she coaches, their core belief is I'm not worthy, right? I'm not good enough today. Same kind of thing. And so be brave, share this with somebody else, talk about it, because here's the other interesting thing is people look at me, or you'll look at somebody else and you'll go, they don't have those kind of beliefs. They don't have that kind of talk inside their head. Yes, they do. And even if you spend time every day trying to master this, right? Shifting to intentional thought, you will find yourself backsliding at some point. Like I said, it might not be in the worthiness thing. It might not be in the, hey, I love myself, but you might have that moment in the mirror, in a dressing room, in, the mall, which is like the worst place to try on clothes, and you're trying on a bathing suit and you suddenly notice the loop, right? Ugh, you look awful. What? Stop. I look perfect exactly the way that I am. It's these stupid lights, right? So anyway, that's our training for today. I do hope that you've gotten value out of this. I love being with you every day. Again, my name's Brenda Reynolds. This is the F Words of Life, our live broadcast of coaching, training, inspiration, motivation every day. Look for the Friday newsletter. You will get that in your email box if you are signed up for it. And all you have to do is sign up on the FWordsOfLife.com. I'm going to be sharing 20 plus ways that you can shift from thought A to thought B. So you'll have your little cheat sheet. And I think that's it for today. So I look forward to seeing you. Oh, and tomorrow, yes, tomorrow. Thanks, Jenna. Tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit more about the science behind this and why this is so important. So this isn't some woo-woo crap, okay? This isn't just like, it's something Brenda made up. I told you guys over and over, the years and decades I've studied this and the science behind it. And so you want to geek out tomorrow and learn a little bit more about the science. And specifically tomorrow, what we're going to focus on is how do you take this statement to visualizing it in a visual way. Right now, we're just talking about saying it as a statement. Tomorrow, we're going to take it up another level and talk about the visualization piece and how that can supersize it, right? Exponentially increase your success with this, and why the science behind it backs it up, and how when you start changing the inside, the outsides start changing. What does that mean? Tangible things like your bank account, right? Would you like your bank account to go up, right? If we start changing the wiring in here, the physical, tangible outcomes outside of yourself, your realities, will start to shift. So tonight, my friends, focus on this. Find your negative limiting belief loops, stop them, replace it with your statement, and I will see you all tomorrow. My friends, I love you. I'm proud of you for showing up and taking a few minutes out of your day to spend with me. I'm honored that you do it. I say that every single time, and I mean it sincerely. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys on the live broadcast or on the replay. But if you can make it live, we'll be back here Thursday, 5:45 p.m. Pacific. That's 8:45 p.m. for you guys on the East Coast. Anywhere in the middle of the United States, figure out the time zone. And if you're all over the world, that's why you have a cell phone. So you can figure out the conversion. And with that, I will see you guys tomorrow evening. Have a blessed rest of your day, night, afternoon, whatever it may be. And feel free to write in the comments, what's going on with you? How can I help you? How can I serve you? What's your limiting belief? What's your new powerful belief that you're going to shift it to? And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Have a great one. Bye.